Hello. Let's turn off this music. Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me. Please let me know in the chat as soon as you can hear me, and we'll get started. How's everybody doing? So excited to be here. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm just waiting on the chat to catch up. Tell me if you can hear me. Yes, you can. Okay, good. All right. I have this Captain America shirt, not because I love America, but because, it's just a nice blue color. It looks good with my orange beard. So, anyway, let's get started. Thank you guys for showing up. This is so exciting. Man, I missed a lot. A lot has happened in the last 2 weeks, hasn't it? I was gone for about 2 weeks with my family on vacation. Had a wonderful time. I'm so glad I'm back. It was a very long road trip. My wife did this incredible job of planning everything. We went to visit my parents in Texas, and we drove. I don't like driving long periods of time, so what I ended up doing was we ended up stopping along the way at various places. So we stopped in Moab, Utah, and checked out the Arches, which was absolutely beautiful. And then we went down to Carlsbad in New Mexico, and we checked out the Carlsbad Caverns, which was amazing. And then we made our way down to different parts of New Mexico. We went to this amazing museum called Meow Wolf. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. But during that time, I was constantly checking Twitter and like, what's going on? Feeling FOMO about JordanCon and other things. And I was just super bummed that I couldn't be a part of that. So I actually, to start things off, I invited a friend of mine who is also someone that I hope you all know. And I'm going to bring him on now. He's going to talk a little bit about his experience at JordanCon. So let me unmute you here. All right, you're on. Let's hope that people can see and hear you.
Yeah, I hope everyone can see and hear me.
This is my friend Vance. This is Vance from Bar of the Red Hand. He's got a YouTube channel. He's very active on Twitter and Discord. A wonderful part of the community. He's written some great articles on the Great Blight.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you on here, man. How are things? How are you doing?
Things are good. Just taking a quick break from work today to hop on here and chat with you for a few minutes. So it's fun. Yeah, JordanCon, like that was an experience. Let me tell you.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking that time out to do this. I know that you're super busy, and I totally asked you last minute, like, hey, you want to jump on and talk about JordanCon? So I really do appreciate you doing that. So yeah, just talk about it a little bit. How did it go? What was your experience like?
Yeah, it was fun. I think ultimately that's the best way to describe it. Is it was just a bunch of fun. Obviously, the best part of the con is the people. Got to meet a lot of folks that I'm seeing in stream here, like Matt Stagger, that
Nice.
we met. And yeah, I'm just like, now that I'm live, it's like hard to articulate, but for real, meeting all of these folks that I've talked with online, whether it be on Twitter, YouTube, or Discord, was just an amazing experience, right? And putting the face to the name and then a voice in some cases to the person,
Right.
was really amazing. We all did the whole like Twitter, like, hey, this was great for all these people and things like that. Actually found out that a Twitter of Time user, Evan Hopwell,
Mm-hmm.
is from my state, and we were on the same plane
Oh, cool.
on the way down there. So that was pretty cool.
So did you actually see each other on the plane, or was it not until you made it there that you
No.
recognized her?
We met up before we got on the plane.
Oh,
We knew
cool.
we were going out on the same flight and everything. So, and then me and Matt, my co-host on my podcast, The Gleeman,
Mm-hmm.
actually rode with him to the hotel. So that was really awesome, and that was a great experience.
He was really kind. He actually offered me to stay in his room because there was a point when I was considering going, and I
Mhm.
forgot, as a terrible husband sometimes does, I forgot the dates of my planned vacation. So I was thinking, oh, I'm going to go to JordanCon, and I even bought a ticket because I'm a dummy and I didn't look at the calendar. And then I realized, you know what? I should probably double check the calendar. My wife's going to kill
Right.
me if I tell her, hey, I planned something right in the middle of this vacation you've been planning for 6 months. And so,
Yeah, of course.
so anyway, I ended up realizing, oh, I can't go, and that was kind of embarrassing. But some people were really nice and offered to help me get there and everything. It was awesome.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of that, right? Like everyone, if you have the ability to go and the means to go, and like only a couple of things are like keeping you from going, people are very into building that up and making sure that you can get there.
Yeah,
Obviously within their means and reason of course,
of
because they
course.
can't help you like get airfare or anything.
Right,
Uh,
right, right.
that's a little bit that might be out of the purview, but
Yeah.
hey, I got a 2 bedroom and you can come use the other bed.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
totally
exactly.
doable.
It's super nice. Yeah, I mean, we're already planning on going next year. I'm bringing my wife. We're gonna have a great time. We've already got tickets this time. Well, because I bought my ticket, it's gonna transfer over. But
Right.
cool. So tell me what it was like. Was this your first time at JordanCon? Have you done this
Yeah.
before?
Yeah. This was my first time. I've even got the badge here. Let me pull it out. So you get the little novice holder.
Oh,
Ooh,
that's great. Yeah, I see it there. That's
yep,
cool. And yeah, I
yep.
saw some
So,
people posting pictures on Twitter with all the different ribbons they had. Some people's ribbons went nearly down to the floor. That was pretty great.
oh yeah, yeah. Some folks even had ribbons from previous years. So
That's cool.
there's just, and then obviously there's also Sanderson ribbons if you are into that thing,
Very
which I
cool.
was. So, but yeah, the ribbons are neat. You just have to kind of go around asking folks for ribbons. Uh, and sometimes you get them. Sometimes they're like, I don't have any ribbons, or I'm all out.
Yeah, yeah.
There's some like secret code words you have to use. That was neat. That was a neat experience. So,
Cool. And
but
so
yeah,
you
like
get
this,
there and you start I'm guessing you recognize a lot of people from the community, especially the ones who are a little more prominent, like the Dusty Will or Nablus or
mhm,
Daniel Green.
right?
What was that like? Just I saw some pictures where it looked like maybe you went to lunch or dinner with some of those people. So what was that like?
Yeah, yeah. So I remember first day sitting down, or actually even walking into the hotel, and then there's Ebony sitting with a group of folks around her, and so we walk up and introduce ourselves, and then I noticed that there's one person there that I actually already knew. So I went and did the whole physical, like, hey, we're seeing each other in real life for the first time
Right.
thing. And then I hung out down the lobby for what 10, 20 minutes before other folks started really rolling in. And I'll remember when Naves walked in because I don't know how much this has to be repeated, y'all, but he's tall.
Yeah.
He's actually very, very tall. So he walked in and I'm like, oh, Naves is really tall. And yeah, it was.
I think
I
that's
was
kind
just
of the
like, oh,
first impression.
Naves.
Yeah, that's kind of the
Yeah,
first
I was
impression that
just
everyone gets of him. For all we knew, he didn't even have legs, right? So now
right.
you see this giant trolloc of a man.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So I called out to him though when he walked in the lobby, and it was like this, like he did like a double take. It's like, oh, I don't know you, but I do know
Right.
you. So it was weird.
That's cool.
Um, yeah, it's almost like validating in some ways. Like it validates some of these like relationships and friendships that we've all
Right.
made over the last year, connecting with each other online and just finally meeting in person. Um, it's such a phenomenal experience. I can't speak to very much of the track programming, unfortunately, due to they had limited seating capacity,
Mhm.
and so if you didn't show up early, which if anyone knows, if I'm not early, I'm late, and I was often late to many of these
Mhm.
things. I didn't get a seat in some of the panels, so I didn't go to very many panels. But if you've watched the Dusty Wheel for any amount of time, you've probably heard Matt talk about CouchCon at JordanCon. And
Right.
that's where I spent most of my time. Was hanging out in the lobby on the couch, just talking the time, talking other fandom stuff with everyone out there. And that's probably the most fun that I had there. This Jordan Con was limited in terms of like what they usually have. There was no dance party, no karaoke, no like fast friending that they usually do. The con suite wasn't there, so there's no free food.
Mm.
So there were a lot of things that were pared down, I
Right.
think, from other con experiences, and that maybe contributed to some different feelings of like how the interactions were happening with folks. But
Right.
ultimately, I think it was generally a positive experience for most folks, even though some of those things were clearly very, very missed
Yeah.
in terms of like, having like a lit dance party going on till 3 in the morning or until the hotel staff kicks them out of the room.
Oh, hey, look at that. I just got a donation from someone called, am I saying this rightly? Niblis? Niblis? Something like that. Thank you for the
is it the
donation.
Nibs?
It's the Nablis. Thank you, Nablis. He says, I hope that red beard is at the next JordanCon because I need someone else without a soul to join me. Ginger's for the win. Yeah, so not only am I soulless and gingered, but I'm also quite short, which is something that will be interesting to see up against Nablis. I'm 5'6", which I don't know if that's super short, but it's shorter than most. So that should be fun. Thank you, Nablis, so much. And also thank you, Robert Gibbons, for becoming a member, my first YouTube member. If you want to support me, you can, do a super chat. You can join as a member on YouTube or on Patreon, or you can just like and subscribe. All of those things are awesome, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Robert Gibbons is my longtime best buddy. We've been friends since we were teenagers. I don't know, like 13 years old, so sometime in the 90s. And, we'd read The Wheel of Time together, and we talked about it endlessly at school together. So thank you, Robert. You're awesome. You're a good friend. I appreciate the support. So Vance, I know that you're busy. You have a lot to do. You're like literally working right now. I really appreciate you jumping in here and talking a little bit about JordanCon. I don't want anyone to get the impression that JordanCon is sort of like this elite clique of only content creators. There are so many amazing people there, amazing fandom.
There were more fans.
Yeah.
More regular fans there. This year was higher, I think, in content creator attendance because, many of us wanted to go for the first time. Right. Before the show comes out and get the experience and meet a lot of folks. So remember I mentioned Evan Hopwell. I see he jumped into chat here earlier. So how's it going out there, Evan? But it's not like this elite thing. It's just a whole bunch of ultimately content creators are just nerds that have some ability or means to make the content that they do, whether that be time, resources, technology, whatever it is, that lets them throw stuff out there. So we're randos out in the void just like everybody else.
Yeah, it's one of those things where because we've sort of worked together before we met, they probably tend, content creators tend to sort of congregate together, but that doesn't make them some special person that you can't approach. I think what it sounds like to me with JordanCon is, if you see somebody you recognize from the community, go and approach them and talk to them because they may not realize that they may be busy talking to other people and they may not realize that you want to talk to them or something.
Right. Yeah.
So remind me.
I think a lot of folks are shy too, right?
Right.
I think a lot of folks are maybe shy, and I think sometimes. And I actually saw Daniel Green put a tweet out about this like a week before JordanCon. He was like, "Most people assume I'm extroverted, and I'm like, totally not. I'm introverted." And I was like, "That's." Yeah, I think a lot of folks do assume content creators are extroverts when in reality many of them are introverted. I'm on the flip side. I'm actually quite extroverted, but I'm terrible at breaking the ice. I'm actually quite shy at first meets.
Interesting.
Believe it or not. So,
I love making YouTube videos, and I've said this before. I don't love being on camera. That's not what I like to do. I like to be behind the scenes, and so I was actually nervous about JordanCon, and I will be when it happens again, just because I do really well in groups of like 3 or 4 people. But anything more than that, and I'm like out of my element, and I get very uncomfortable. So you know what? We're all in good company. We're all kind of socially awkward and nerdy, and that's a good thing. That's okay. And I'm just excited for the opportunity. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Is it next April when JordanCon will happen again?
Yes, next April. Mark your time off from work, folks, on your calendars now. The dates are out there on JordanCon's website, so go do it.
And this time the first season will have been out, so who knows what to expect. Maybe we'll see people from the show there. I don't know, but I'm imagining it's going to be ramped up quite a bit. I'm a little disappointed I missed it this time, just because I do know it's going to be so much bigger next time. But still, it's going to be fun to be a first-timer next time. So anyway, thank you, Vance, so much.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate you being here. We still have so much to talk about. I'm going to let you go, but I really appreciate you showing up and talking about JordanCon. And have a great time finishing your workday.
Thanks for having me, and I will continue to watch the stream while I do my work. So,
awesome.
I will see you all in chat out there.
Yes, thank you. We'll see you. Okay. Well, that was awesome. So great to have Vance with us. I'm going to close Zoom. I hope that's okay here. Awesome. Okay. Hey, we're back. So, why are we really here, right? We're really here to talk about some fun stuff. By the way, thank you, Miss Sarah James, so much for joining. I saw that you became a member. I really appreciate that support. You're awesome. If for those who may not know, Miss Sarah James is an awesome member of the community, and she did an incredible video for the Watt Song Parody Challenge. As a matter of fact, she won. She got first prize in the Watt Song Parody Challenge. She is just incredible. She's also very active on Twitter, and just a joy to interact with whenever I have a chance to. So if you're not following her on Twitter, go do that. Also, I've been sort of ignoring chat, and I apologize for that, everybody. But yeah, it's good to have you all here. I see Dana, Silvertooth. I see Rajesh, always welcome. Jason, Leafcast, Brother Dan, love you. It's so great to have you all here. Let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about why we all came. The poster, unraveling the poster. And you know, I'm going to take the video of me down for a second here. Unraveling the poster. Okay. A lot has already been said about this. I don't know that I can really rehash what's already been said, but I'm going to try to talk about some of the details that we already know about. I've aggregated some things from Twitter and from the Dusty Wheel and from the Great Blight. There are some really great things to talk about, but the fact is, it's just a poster. Like, I'm pretty sure everything that we can possibly find in this poster has already been found, and that's why I wanted to do a live stream. You know, I've been gone for a while. I wanted to just communicate with all of you guys and talk to you a little bit about what's going on my channel and everything, and I don't really have the time this week to really like make a video other than doing a live stream. So thank you for your patience as I go through this. I've made this little presentation. Oh, but first let's do a giveaway. Now I hope this works because I'm going to turn the camera back on for this. You guys are going to have to tell me if the giveaway works in chat. Let me launch it first. I got 800 tabs open. Let me just launch the giveaway. Start giveaway. Okay, so I've started a giveaway. Hopefully, if this works, it will pop up in the chat. So it may take a second. There might be a bit of a delay. So I'm just going to keep rambling here for a minute until we see if it works. Hey, it works. So something from newcreationsbyjen.com. If you type !raffle, single word, all lowercase, you should be entered into the raffle. So if you want to buy something, oh, hey, Nablus. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Really appreciate your support. Okay, so yes, now is the time. Nablus, become a member. Yes, I love that. That's my favorite. You know, if you want to keep seeing that awesome GIF repeat, then just join or even subscribe. I think it'll show up if you subscribe. Okay, so giveaway. This is going to be running for only a few minutes. Type in !raffle. And in a moment, I'm going to choose a winner. This is, so whoever wins this will get to pick a t-shirt from newcreationsbyjen.com. And you just contact me afterwards and we will see what happens. Now, is it working? Is anyone joining? I really hope it's working. Yes, Robert Gibbons joined. Thank you, Robert. My good buddy, Robert. Okay, I'm a little concerned that it's not showing me any of the entries. So let me go back and make sure. View active giveaway. So why is nobody showing up in the list? It says 0 tickets, 0 users. Does that have anyone else concerned? I want to make sure that we get a winner here. So maybe it'll populate once the time runs out. I'm going to click close entries. Just be patient with me here. I'm going to click close entries. Pick a winner. You have no entries. Okay. Sorry, you guys. Thank you for your patience. I'm going to fix this. Cancel this. Confirm. Let's try this again. Go to custom. Edit. Make sure that I didn't screw this up. Advanced. Oh, must be a follower to win. I'm going to turn that off. I think that was the mistake I made. Let's try this again. Oh, hey. Someone else joined. Thank you so much. Okay. Start giveaway. Okay, sorry, everyone. Technical difficulties. I'm not the Dusty Wheel. I don't have Taylor helping me. Thank you for sticking around. 75 of you watching. Awesome. Thank you for being here. Okay, I just restarted the raffle. Hopefully you guys see that pop up. We'll find out very soon. Yes. Okay. Yes, Kevin L. Stevenson. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I love that gift so much. Oh, so great. Okay, sorry you guys. Let's try this again. Try the raffle again. I'm going to see if it's populating this time. I think I may have had it set up wrong. Oh, this is embarrassing. You'd think that everything would just go right, you know? View active giveaway. It's just not populating. Boo. I may just have to randomly pick somebody. Oh, sorry everyone. Canceling again. Go back, custom, giveaway, edit, advanced, must be a follower, ticket cost, I don't know what that means. Maximum tickets per user, general, everyone can see it, save. Okay, I'm going to try to launch a new giveaway. Prizes must be assigned to start a new giveaway. Enterprise, something cool. Yep. Save. Cancel. Confirm. You guys, this is not the right way to do a live stream, is it? It's totally bombing here. Okay, I think this one will work. So, once again, we're going to try this one last time. Give it a second. Wait for it to pop up. I'm watching. Okay, something cool raffle has started. And this time, I'm pretty sure this is going to work. You guys are, thank you for your patience. 80 of you watching, and I'm bombing. Okay, type in raffle. If it doesn't let you guys enter, or if it doesn't show me you entering for some reason, then I'll just say forget it and I'll pick someone randomly. I'm so sorry. This has been frustrating. I don't know why it's not working. Okay, well, while we're waiting on this, I'm just going to let you guys do this for a little bit. Let's go to the next slide. Oh, hey, we've already seen this. Oh, hey, I'm going to butcher your name. I'm so sorry. Mode S. Latif. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I really appreciate it. You're awesome. And, okay, first things first. Let me take this camera off again. Just a quick little thing. Season 2 has started filming. How amazing is that? You know, I can't think of a better thing than Amazon actually not just approving Season 2, but it's already started filming. I think things, hopefully, fingers crossed, will run a little bit more smoothly. That's great, great news. And let me look at the chat, because I'm kind of ignoring all you guys on chat. I don't know how the Dusty Wheel does this every week. You're the best, Lauren. Don't sweat it. Ah, thanks. You guys are nice. It's kind of exciting, but I don't think the raffle's working. Let me look at it again. See where we're at here. Yeah, it's not filling in. Maybe if I refresh the page. Settings, okay. Don't forget to mod Streamlabs by going to your settings. Look, you guys, if I actually knew what the heck I was doing, we could get this working, and we'll get on with it, I promise. Just thank you for your patience. Community. Okay, YouTube Studio. Settings. Community. Approved. It is already approved. So I don't know why it's not working. Oh well. You guys, I tried. Okay, enough of that. Let's go back here. Let's look at the live stream. Okay, well, look, here, look, I can't promise that you guys will trust this, but I'm just gonna randomly look away from the chat and scroll around and click, and wherever my mouse clicks, that's the winner. Are you ready? It is, hey, it's Mode S. Latif, the guy who just joined. Congratulations, you won something special from newcreationsbyjen.com. So reach out to me on Discord or through Twitter, and I will let you pick a t-shirt and I will send it your way. Thank you guys for your patience with that. All right, so Rafe Judkins, he did a Q&A for ComicCon, and it was awesome. Let's see what he said. He said, "The Wheel of Time was actually something I read when I was younger with my mom. It was this book series that sort of connected us to each other, especially after I came out of the closet. It was this thing that let us each see what it's like to be a person who's different in the world. You know, her as a woman in a Mormon family and me as a little gay kid in Utah. We could connect over this book and the women who were inside of it who had to be themselves in this world that was very different. Okay, I liked this quote for a lot of reasons. Again, the Wheel of Time is special for all of us. It's this personal thing that we all went through, and the characters resonated with us in different ways, no matter what background we came from. And the fact that he came from a Mormon family in Utah relates to me because I come from a Mormon family in Utah, and Brandon Sanderson also comes from a Mormon family in Utah. And my mom read books to me all the time. She did not read The Wheel of Time with me, but my dad did read it alongside me, and that was a really important thing for me because I was still trying to figure out things with my faith and other things, and here came The Wheel of Time, and it really changed my life in a positive way. And I think that's the same can be said for probably all of us who are here. That's one of the things that makes it so great. Now, in Rafe's case, he came out as gay in Utah, which must have been difficult. I cannot imagine that. My own brother came out as gay, but many years after he left Utah. And I feel like I can understand that to some degree because I've had some great conversations with my brother. But still, I can't even imagine how he must have learned from this series and how he takes it on this personal level. And to see how much he cares about it is really awesome to me. Okay. Another thing he said, summing up the Wheel of Time for the uninitiated is a difficult thing to do, but the one thing I always think of is that it sits in the fantasy pantheon as that connective tissue between Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. I really like that description. There are people who say, Wheel of Time's just copying Lord of the Rings, which, that's silly. If anything, it's an homage to Lord of the Rings that very quickly branches away from that. But also Game of Thrones, I don't say that you can copy you could say that Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time and Game of Thrones are much alike. I would say that George R.R. Martin, in some ways, was inspired by Wheel of Time. But I like the idea that it's sort of in between those two things. It's not super gritty, dark fantasy, but it's also not super light Lord of the Rings style classic fantasy either. He said, obviously, I want to stay as close to the books as we possibly can. These are really beloved books. I also love them. There's a great story there, and we want to tell it. And we want to tell it in the way that's best for television. This really is a true adaptation of the series. Okay, that's so important. So many people do not understand this. You cannot take book and put it on screen and have it match perfectly. Now, we can argue all day about what you can and can't adapt easily, and that I just keep falling back to the fact that Rafe and his team have spent hundreds, thousands of hours at this point discussing all of this stuff. And if there were decisions made, you can tell it's coming from a good place, a place where they really care. And I think, despite the fact that we may not all agree at the end of the day on why they made certain changes or adapted certain things the way that they did, I think it's fair to say that these choices were made intentionally and that there were a lot of people in the room giving their input. And at the end of the day, they were trying to do what they thought was best for this adaptation to TV, which is such a massive undertaking. How many of us can even comprehend it? I mean, I've made videos all my life. I studied film in school, and I can't say that I understand what it takes to adapt something like this. It's just a massive undertaking. And the fact that Rafe cared so much about doing it says a lot to me. He also says it stays true to the heart of the books and the spine of the storytelling. Obviously, that's very important. Okay, I'm going to stop for a second and look at the chat because I'm ignoring all of you guys. Everything written in the 90s was influenced in some way by Watt. Yeah, I think that's very true. I think, what's her name? The Harry Potter lady, J.K. Rowling. I think J.K. Rowling said she wasn't reading other fantasy or inspired by other fantasy, but it's pretty clear she was inspired by The Wheel of Time. It's great to know we have someone who loves Watt like we do running the show. I completely agree, Matt Stagger. Like, that's exactly how I feel. Not everything's going to be perfect. There are going to be things that we're going to be unhappy about. He said the writer's room is the things they've had to cut. He's literally cried over it. So, it's tough. But at the end of the day, I just hope we bring in more fans and get a better community out of this. Okay. The Wheel of Time has always sat as the most diverse fantasy book that came out in its time. I think when you're adapting it to be on television today, we also need to do that in order to honor the books and make this the most diverse fantasy TV show that's been on television before. That's something that's been really important to me the whole way through the process. And bringing in all these people from the different parts of our world is letting us build the worlds within the show too. So it's kind of like a symbiotic thing. They're using the diversity from the Wheel of Time, probably expanding on that a little bit more than most of us imagine. Most of us probably imagine most of the Wheel of Time characters as white. But they're taking the diversity that Robert Jordan did already have there, and then on top of that, they're casting good people and then using those people from our world to help build the worlds within the show. And I think that's the way you have to do it. I love this idea. I don't care that people complain about some of the casting choices. To me, this is the right way to approach this. And people who say, well, do it the way Robert Jordan intended, not the way your quote unquote woke agenda intends. I think that's silly and naive, and I think you have to make a show that resonates with the current audience to some degree. There are certain elements of the Wheel of Time that we all agree could go away. Now, we may not all agree on which elements they are, but there are parts of the Wheel of Time that we are like, yeah, maybe that's a little outdated. Maybe we should change it. So, keep that all in mind. Jason Haddad says, I love that Rafe is so dedicated to making the diversity in the books come to life. I completely agree. Great comment. Okay. The first time I got on the phone with Rosamund, I could just tell from the way that she spoke about the character of Moiraine, and he said Moiraine, which there was some controversy about that. Moiraine is how I've always said it, Moiraine. But he said Moiraine, and I don't know. I don't know if she's going to be Moiraine in the show. I got the impression that the interviewer started off by saying Moiraine, and Rafe was being nice and not trying to correct the guy, and so he just went on with that pronunciation. But I could be wrong. Maybe they're calling her Moiraine in the show. Is that big of a deal? I don't think so. But anyway, moving on. About the character of Moiraine, that when she had read that first script, it hit her that she understood this woman. When I talked to her, I knew that she was the only option for this character because she understood Moiraine in her bones in a fundamental way. And that's the foundation of this whole show. And this whole world working is that you believe the characters that are there. And Rosamund is the best foundation that the show could ever hope for. I really think they knocked it out of the park with her. We've talked about this plenty. And then she told Rafe, I know this woman. I can be this woman. I love the idea. Sometimes you think that someone like Rosamund Pike is so kind of high level as an actor that you kind of think, you know what? They probably were begging her to join the show. They wanted her for clout. But that's not how it seems to me. It seems like she read the script and she said, I need to play this woman. This is someone I can relate to. And that's really cool to me that the actor who plays Moiraine cares enough about the character to say, I need to do this. That's such a cool thing. And he told a little story about the first time he talked to her, he had like a bad connection. He was in this rainstorm. Anyway, you should definitely go back and watch the whole interview. Really good stuff. So I really set out to write from the beginning. I think you really need to know the end of your story when you start telling it. I think that's true for television, even though it's serialized. I sat down and broke out what I thought 8 seasons of the show might look like before I started writing the pilot, because I felt like you have to build in this knowledge of where you're going and how you're getting there from the very beginning in order to tell the stories the best you can. I can't think of hardly any shows that have had this luxury, that have said, okay, we already know the ending, and we're going to write right from the first episode with that ending in mind. That just gives us the ability, like Robert Jordan had, to have all this foreshadowing and all this amazing stuff. And to me, that is just chef's kiss. Perfect, right? I'm so excited about that. Again, they're going to have to cut some things, but they're thinking it through. And I love that. Someone said, sure, Unraveling. Let's go with that. I don't know what that's referring to, but thank you. Lawn. Yeah, not land. Lawn. Ugh, yeah, we'll have to get used to that one, huh? Let's see. Thanks, I hate it. I missed that comment. You guys are awesome to stick around. Moist rain. Oh, no, not that. Anything but moist rain. No, thank you. Yeah, people are talking about Lost. It's funny. Lost was a show I just loved. I followed it religiously. I was reading all these in-depth blogs, and at the time there weren't really YouTube videos that I remember. But I was watching or listening to people talking about it, listening to podcasts. I was so into Lost. And then it ended, and it was so divisive. And then they kind of backtracked and said, we didn't really have the ending as figured out as we originally said we did. That was pretty disappointing for a lot of people. I personally liked how Lost ended to some degree, but you'd be stupid to ruin the Wheel of Time when we already have an ending that everyone already loves, right? Okay, moving on. Thematically, a story that is really about balance is something that's meaningful in the world, I think. With our world being divided and hyperpolarized, it's refreshing to see a fantasy series where it's not so much good versus evil, but balance versus imbalance. That is a message that's worth writing about right now, and something that is meaningful. Okay, so how do I feel about this? I think the Wheel of Time is pretty much good versus evil. I also think it's balance versus imbalance. And I understand sort of the spirit of what Rafe is saying here, but I'm not entirely sure I 100% agree with it. Um, Good versus evil, balance versus imbalance, those kind of go hand in hand for me. Now, relating to our current world, I do like this idea that, we're so polarized. There's all this division. There are some of us who think the other side of whatever it is, politics, religion, whatever, are evil. And that's, for the most part, not the case. I think most people are good intentioned. They have a different view of the world. And it isn't really about good versus evil in our day to day lives with most people. Now, there are some people out there who are real jerks, right? But for the most part, I think most people are good or want to be good. And there's probably just a miscommunication between how we see the world. So I do like that they're thinking about this in the show. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that really the books are about balance versus imbalance? I'm not sure I got that. I thought it was pretty black and white, literally, good and evil. I'd be curious to see what you guys say. Okay, moving on. I think fans of the books will recognize this as a very iconic moment in the eye of the world. Okay, so what is he talking about here? He's talking specifically about the poster reveal, which we'll be talking about in a second. I gotta say, this was a little controversial, and I'm not sure how I feel about this, because the scene that I will show you in the poster, which we'll be talking about, isn't exactly that iconic in the sense that it doesn't look much like anything we saw in the books before. So we'll get into that a little bit. Let me read some of your comments. Ishii is imbalanced. Yeah, that's for sure. Agreed, unraveling pattern, but I think balance is the main thing. It definitely is a huge part of it, but to me, it's a balance of good and evil. I mean, Moiraine says the pattern is neither good nor evil, but it's the good is the warp and the evil is the wolf, so to speak. So the pattern is neutral, but it's made up of these threads that interweave together that are good and evil, and they weave together to create balance. So it's kind of both, is I guess what I'm saying. Ishii has eruptile dysfunction. Love it. Eastern sense of good, evil, balance. Now, this is something, thank you, Ben, for saying this. He said Eastern sense of good, evil, balance. I've done the Wheel of Timelines videos. That I've only done 2 so far, but I talk about my view of there once upon a time being a beginning. And it turns out I've been corrected on that enough in the comments, and even like Matt Hatch has talked to me about how he's like, I'm not so sure about that I kind of am backtracking a little bit on what I thought. My original thinking was at some point there had to be a first age, but it turns out that may not be the case. There's this weird Eastern influence that I don't quite understand, because I think very linearly. I have a very Western point of view when it comes to time. And so I think, well, there had to be a beginning sometime, but that may not be the case. It may be that the will was put in place, and in that moment, you have infinite ages going back both ways, back and forth or forward. So anyway, I saw a good comment, and I don't want to miss it. Unraveling the pattern, I had that thought too. It really is good versus evil that has become out of balance due to the boar, right? And I think, as Rand sort of, and obviously spoilers for the whole series here, as Rand sort of posits at the end of the series, removing the Dark One from the equation is not the best choice, because it eliminates people's ability to choose between good and evil, which is interesting. Dana Lou says, Wolf Brother says, to reach a true balance, there must be imbalance, right? Patrick Christensen says, I feel a major plot point is also conception, perspective, and miscommunication. Absolutely. Those are major themes of the series for sure. Dana Lou said, it is about balance, and it's about people who live in the gray and not just the black and white. Now, this is something I actually hope they explore a little bit more in the show. For me, for the most part, the characters are black and white. I mean, I guess you have some characters that sort of sit in that gray area in the books, but not to the extent of something like Game of Thrones, for example. And so I actually hope that we get to see a little bit more of that subtlety with some characters. Obviously, Rand kind of goes back and forth on that line and other things, but for the most part, he's good. He's going to be good, and it's pretty cut and dry who's evil, who's good. So I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more subtlety there. Okay, so moving on. Oh, November. The Wheel of Time is coming your way. Okay, it's time for the poster reveal. So then they gave us this great poster. We don't need to look at my fat, ugly face. Here we go. Look at this. See you in November, Dragonsworn. Amazing. We got a November release date. Now, we don't know the exact date. There have been some speculation that it'll be on a Friday, maybe the 5th of November. Somebody said, remember. I like that idea that it's the 5th of November, and I think someone said that it would fit really well if they released 2 episodes on the 1st or the 5th of November, and then every Friday after that, release an episode. We would have our final episode on Christmas Eve, which is kind of a cool idea. But that's I'm all for that, even if it's a little later in November. I know that John from What Up has been saying for ages. He's been saying that his sources are saying Black Friday, which is a little later in November. That would give a little bit more people time to watch it during the Christmas break, which I think is kind of smart, especially for our first season of a show. But at the same time, because of the holidays and everything, it makes me wonder if they wouldn't release it as a bingeable show, which I think would be the wrong thing to do. I think they need to do maybe 1 or 2 episodes up front and then 1 episode every week. And I think most of us agree that weekly would be better. As a content creator, oh gosh, as a content creator, I really hope they release 1 episode a week, just so I have time to make content about it. But anyway, so this is the poster. Amazing. Now, is this a quote? What did he say? Iconic moment in the eye of the world. What I like about it is that for people who don't know anything about these books, this is a moment where you see our lead, Rosamund Pike, Moiraine, looking back over her shoulder and saying, "You don't know what's through here, but come along for the ride." Now, I do like that. I like what he says there. I don't agree that this is an iconic moment. And the reason I say that, and I've had this conversation a bit with Glenn on Twitter, is so they confirmed to us through some of the alt text. Let me see if I can find that. Well, I'll find it later. They confirmed to us that this is the Waygate. Okay. Now I love it. I think it looks really cool. It's definitely different from how the Waygate is described in the books. But that being said, oh, thank you, Miss Sarah James. She clarified. At Katie Fleets is the one that posted the remember, it's coming November, and she's involved in the show. Fun quip, or intentional hint? I'm going for intentional. 5th of November sounds perfect to me. So this iconic moment, I think entering the Waygate certainly is an iconic moment, and I do like the idea of Moiraine entering first and her sort of looking over her shoulder and saying, "Follow me." Now, this is a poster. This is not necessarily how it's going to look in the show. My personal opinion is that they will still have some sort of trefoil leaf Waygate key and some sort of stone-looking thing here in the middle. We know from some leaked photos of this that came out during production that there was a green screen here behind this. So here's my personal opinion. You walk up to this structure. This structure may be part of the Waygate, but I also think it could just be the structure that's built around the Waygate, right? Then Moiraine walks up. You see like a wall here where she's standing. I don't know if you can see my mouse. Oh, maybe I should show it over here. You see a wall here where she's standing, and it looks like the way it's described in the books. Then she pulls out the key, and rather than it opening like a stone door, maybe it dissolves or shimmers into what we know of as the sort of mirror-like look of the ways. Now, we can't see that here, but what we do see is this sort of dissipating or breaking apart. And I love the idea of almost as if you're entering into a portal and it picks you apart pixel by pixel or atom by atom. I love that concept. Just like everyone's a thread of the pattern, I love the idea of even the Waygate itself, from the point of view of the person going through it, looks like it's breaking into a million pieces and transporting through some sort of portal. I like that concept a lot. So that's what I'm voting for. If it isn't that way, and this is just the Waygate, and somehow you just walk through these 2 pillars and you're somewhere else, fine. But I feel like they're going to have to show something where they walk through a barrier or something, and that's not here. Okay, let's move on. So they also posted this wider version of it, which is really cool. You can see the threads here a little bit better, or maybe it's the 1 power, a little bit unclear. And then it's a little more obvious. You can see that Aes Sedai symbol, the white and the black. And I know people were kind of jesting online and saying, "Oh, Unraveling the Pattern is going to have a problem with this, that the symbol's backwards again." But I think in this case, I'm okay with saying, "No, it's just rotated." Like the symbol could be correct, but in this case, they're just trying to show that balance, that duality, that black and white, and it makes for some awesome contrast to have Moiraine there in the middle with the brightness behind her of Saidar. That's really cool. So I'm not really concerned about the rotation in this particular instance. Let's read some comments. Waygate plus Portal Stone all in one. Yeah, it could be. That actually, I'd be okay with that. I think it would simplify things for the show. And the Portal Stones are kind of like a one and done thing. I mean, I guess they're used a little bit later in the 4th book. But I actually like the idea of the ways and the portal stones being one and the same. I would be okay with that. I still want to see some sort of teleportation happen, some sort of passing from one place to another. And I don't know how they're going to do that exactly, but it does have this cool look to it, like things are breaking apart, which is very cool. Makes a lot of sense to merge. Yeah, money saver, less confusing for non-fans. Right. We do need the flickers. If we don't have the flickers, I'll be very disappointed. So then that brings up the point, does this mean you have to be a channeler in order to use the ways? Because that's a little bit problematic, right? If you have to be a channeler in order to use the ways, then like how are Perrin and Fael going to make it back to the Two Rivers? Spoilers. Or other times when the waygates are used by non-channelers, like spoilers, Trollocs, for example. So, there's some things to think about there. I'm not entirely sure how they're going to do that, but interesting. Okay, moving on. Giveaway. Okay, we've determined that the giveaway thing, for whatever reason, does not work, and I apologize for that. I thought I had it all set up, and I wish that it was working, but because it doesn't, I'm going to try to do this again. I'm just going to randomly scroll, and if I pick the person who already won, I apologize. So I'm not looking. I'm scrolling, and stop. My mouse is on Jason Haddad. Jason Haddad, congratulations. You have won a prize from newcreationsbyjen.com. And please contact me through Discord or Twitter to collect your prize. Congratulations. This is a way for me to simply reward the people who are still here in chat too, which, pretty cool. Okay, moving on. So here's the original post. Here is... Oh, no, actually, this isn't the original. This is the one that Amazon Studios posted. Prepare yourselves for the battle of a lifetime, Dragonsworn. Okay, they're calling us Dragonsworn. Better than Wheelies, but still not my favorite, but it is what it is. They've sort of embraced that. That's okay. And then Madeline Madden, who plays Egwene. The Wheel of Time turns and ages come and pass. See you in November. Awesome. Can't wait. And then we've got this post from Rosamund Pike. She said, "A little more light in the darkness," the Aes Sedai murmured. "How are your dreams? A night like that can give a man bad dreams." I love that because that's very similar to some of the lines in the books when she's talking to Rand, like, "How are your dreams, Rand al'Thor?" And she says a little more light in the darkness when I can't remember exactly when she says that, but I think it's when she finds him for the first time. Someone can correct me on that. But anyway, I love that. Love her comment here. Awesome. And then, of course, you've got Priyanka Bose. There will never be another Moiraine, that's for sure. Priyanka plays Alana Mosvani. Okay, then we had all of the awesome, fan-made memes and images, and I just love them so much. And I wanted to highlight this one in particular. If you are not following Brick Ninja on Twitter, you absolutely need to. They did this Lego Brick of Time version of the poster, and I just love it so much. And they're working on doing like teasers and stuff with Lego characters, so you've got to follow them. Super cool stuff. Rosamund is such a perfect Moiraine. Completely agree. Okay, moving on. I love this meme, and this, I think that Dusty Will posted this. Yeah, here's his logo down here. This idea that when someone took the original image and photoshopped Moiraine out, and it really does look a bit like the Eye of Sauron here, which, it's funny. Good comparison. This one, I have this as my, if you join or donate or do a super chat, you'll see this pop up. But I love this meme as well. And this one with Basim on here. Now, there are a bunch I did not include here. Some amazing ones. But overall, just people having a great time with this made me laugh a lot. Okay, this one. So this was pointed out in an article from that the Dusty Will posted on thegreatblight.com. If you haven't read that article, shame on you. It's a great article. And I'm going to be actually highlighting some of the things from that article. So make sure you go and check that article out. But someone on Twitter, Ashandarai, I can't say that word. I've never said that out loud before. They noticed that it almost looks like a yin-yang symbol here. Now, again, it's backwards, so a little bit upsetting. But I like this idea. I like the idea that Moiraine and the logo are kind of like the yin and yang here, too. Very cool. And I love this meme of Charlie. Giveaway. Okay, I'm going to scroll around. Give you guys a second to, if you want to, type in raffle or something to get your name in there. If you haven't typed in the chat for a little while, I realized I didn't do that before. So type away in the chat, and I'll read through chat while I wait. But you can just type !raffle if you want. Maybe only type it once so that you don't have a better chance of being picked or whatever. But okay, I'm gonna just scroll through some of the notes, messages here. Congrats, Jason. Yes, congrats for winning. Someone proposed on the Dusty Wheel live stream channel to make it a portal stone. Trefoil to make it a waygate. That's cool. I like that idea. Very cool. Yeah, I think there'll be a visual effect between the pillars. I think so too, for sure. Madeline tweet, she's the best. Dreams, yes. Bazamon, I do think we're getting Bazamon. I think that's something that they've been really keeping quiet. Or I should say, maybe not Bazamon so much, but something lurking in Dreams, at least. I don't know if we'll get a reveal of Bazamon at the end of the first season, but I think we're going to see hints of it, at least. Yin Yang in the image background, yep, I love that. I like People of the Dragon, but I'd like Jen Aiel, the true dedicated. I like that a lot. True, it's hard to call your fans that, it's kind of wordy. And Jen Aiel is like, what? What the heck is that? Dragonsworn, I don't know if that's much better. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough to name the fandom. Wheel of Time Lego video game. Oh, can you imagine? That would be so good. Imagine levels through the ways and you're like collecting little golden Legos and stuff. Oh, I love that idea. A Lego video game, Wheel of Time. That would be so amazing. Okay, so you guys have hopefully had some chance to type in the chat a little bit. Let's do another giveaway. So I'm going to scroll randomly. I'm looking away. Oh, look, I got to prove that I'm looking away. Scrolling through. I'm looking away. Scrolling, and stop. My mouse is on Brother Buddha. Hey, Brother Buddha's message says, scroll to me. Well, I just did. Congratulations. You have won something from New Creations by Jen.com, a t-shirt from there. Hey, congrats. Brother Buddha, you're the best. And thank you for watching and supporting. Okay, moving on. So this comes directly from the Great Blight article, and I think I have a picture of that somewhere in here. There. Okay, this is the Great Blight. This is the Great Blight article that I was talking about from Matt, the innkeeper from the Dusty Wheel. He did a great job, and not only did he do a great job writing about all this, but then he got excited and found more things and went back in and edited it. Originally, it was 6 things you may have missed, and then he turned it into 7 things. And then I went through and read through it again recently, and it seems like he even added some more details. So definitely check this out. He did a much better job than I'm going to in this video of breaking this all down. But this is one of the quotes. The poster depicts an iconic moment from the eye of the world. And I should say this is the alt text. Let me take myself off again. This is the alt text that was with the image that was posted. Moiraine, standing beneath slowly moving clouds and wrapped in a blue cloak that is blowing in the wind with its hood down, looks over her shoulder at the audience as she steps through a waygate into the unknown. She is inviting us to go on a journey with her. The words Amazon Prime Original and November 2021 are overlaid on the image along with the Wheel of Time Serpent logo and the Prime Video smile. Okay, so if for those who don't know, alt text is something that you add to images on Twitter for people who may not be able to see, like those who are blind or those who may need help understanding what's going on. So this is just like a description to help with that. It's text that they can hear or read if they can't. Anyway, yeah, very useful. Okay, moving on. So some people noticed that there are some examples of these types of interesting looking gates in history, or I should say as sort of like ruins. And I like this, so, check this out. Especially this one in Bali. I'm pretty sure that Rafe and the writers team were in Bali, and they were actually exploring around, and they were highly influenced by a lot of the things they saw there. And I think this is one of the reasons why the Wheel of Time TV show has some strong Asian influences, which, again, I'm all for. I think it's awesome. But, again, I hope there's something there in the middle. I hope you can't just see through it to the world beyond. That would be disappointing to me, especially because that's also kind of what a gateway is. Which, waygate, gateway, hope they're different. Unraveling the pattern is so hard on himself. I am not in my comfort zone here on camera. Thank you guys for being awesome. Okay, here's an example of the poster with no one in it. Here's the widescreen banner version. I've showed that before. But somebody did this, and I thought this was really cool. They basically added to the contrast of the image to show that there is quite a bit of color in the threads. And this, to me, implies that maybe there is the one power being used, or maybe the waygate just uses the one power. Maybe it's not necessarily Moiraine channeling. But I do like this a lot. If this is how the threads of one power look, I'm all for it. It looks so cool. It looks very much like threads, and there's almost tens of thousands of them overlapping in different colors. I love that idea. I hope that this is how it looks in the actual show. Very cool. This is that same image, but a little bit more of it. You can just see the color here. Love it. Oh, Beth Roberts just said, I still think way gates in different locations will look different. Yeah, I hope so. Again, the middle part shouldn't be different, right? It should be the thing that the Ogier and the male Aes Sedai built. But the pillars or whatever around it, they can all be different, right? This is another thing I forgot to mention. It's a little odd that they say this is an iconic moment, because when they enter the Waygate, they're in a basement in Camelin, which we know that's probably not going to be happening. But this Waygate really feels like it's just out in the middle of nowhere in a field. Like, can any random stranger just walk through it? That's pretty strange. So I do like the idea that this is just it has this structure built around it. But to me, this feels more like how the Waygate is described on the opposite end in Faldara when they come back through. So again, I don't know where this is. Maybe this is outside of Camelin or outside of Tar Valon. I don't know. Okay. Oh, I had to show this on my nasty old work chair here. But my cats, we got a new cat this week. So not only did we go on a 2-week vacation, and by the way, I think I broke my foot. I have a doctor's appointment in a couple days. I've been wearing a brace for the last 2 weeks. But not only that, but we also, for some crazy reason, got a new kitten. So we now have 6 pets in our house, 5 people, 6 animals. And this cute one on the right, which we haven't named yet, so if you have any name suggestions, please let me know. They were posing here for me, right next to me as I was preparing for this stream today. And look at this, look at them mocking me with their Aes Sedai symbol being backwards. They know. You can just see they know. This is Loki on the left and Unnamed on the right. There was a neighbor of ours who had to get rid of the cat, and so we bought the cat from them. Such an adorable little cat. We love him, but we haven't named him yet. Moiraine. Moiraine. That's the perfect. Oh, Robert. That's great. I don't think I can convince the kids of that, especially since he's a he, but that's a great name. Oh, man. Okay, so anyway, there they are mocking me. They're both boys in this picture. We have a girl cat. She is not pictured. She does not like the new kitten, and she does not get anywhere near him yet. Her name is River, named after River Song from Doctor Who. This is Loki, and this is it. He was called Le Pew by the neighbors, but we don't like that name, so we're going to change it. Stepper. That's a great name too. Okay, here is the poster without text. Okay, let's get into the details. So I have to say, I pulled these images directly from the Dusty Wheels Great Blight article, so please don't kill me, Matt. All credit to Matt Hatch. He did a phenomenal job breaking all this down. Again, please go read this. But I wanted to talk about this a little bit. So the Waygate is breaking apart. What does that mean? My take on this is that this is either a detail that's just for the poster to give a sense of the world crumbling, the Dark One influencing the ways or the world, or, as I mentioned before, when they enter through the portal, there's this sort of thing that happens from the perspective of the person who goes through it. Robert Jordan describes it as like a cold sensation where time seems to slow and it's almost like you're going through jello or something. I don't think he used the term jello, since that doesn't exist in the Wheel of Time world, but you know what I mean. And I like the idea from the perspective of the person going through. It feels like everything breaks apart, disassembles, and then reassembles. It makes me think of Willy Wonka when he teleports that kid through the television airways. So anyway, breaking apart. Very cool. Another detail. Someone took the wide version and the taller version and put them both together to show us a little bit more of the sky. And then someone else took that and kind of expanded on the sky. Love it. Super cool. I can't wait to see this in the final show. It's going to look awesome. Okay, this is something that's really cool. I did not notice this. I looked through this thing and tried to find all these details, but this is something that was pointed out by Matt as well. And that is that it looks like there's an Aes Sedai symbol here on her cloak. And we know that many of the Aes Sedai wear shawls that have an Aes Sedai symbol on it, or at least the flame of Tar Valon on it, right? So, or as Matt would say, Tar Valon, right? But this almost looks like it has Saidin and Saidar. Now, it does look a little odd that the black part is at the top and the white part is at the bottom. That's a little weird to me. Maybe this is unintentional. Maybe it's just like folds in the cloak and it just happens to look like this. Or maybe they sort of subtly put this in post. I don't know. But it's definitely obvious. You can definitely see some detail there. How many of production is laughing at us for all of our interpretations? Yeah, if they're watching. Right? Okay, and then there's Moiraine herself. I love the look of this cloak. I love everything about this. Obviously, this is highly photoshopped for the poster, but very cool. I was disappointed to not be able to see any wig malfunctions. Everything looks good. But this almost has a feeling of armor to it. It could also just be, like a shoulder pad, but it almost feels like she's got some sort of armor or something. And I like to think that this is the cloak or the full riding dress that she wears over what we saw part of in the Moiraine teaser with the Trolloc. Okay, this is something else that the Dusty Will pointed out in his Great Blight article. The location, where could this be? It feels, again, more like Faldara or the Blight, or somewhere near the Blight, than it does Caemlyn or Tar Valon to me. I don't know, but we know from shots that were leaked of this Waygate that they were shooting at, it is kind of out in the middle of nowhere in this barren field. So, yeah, who knows? Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know what it is, but yeah. I got to be better at reading comments. This is part of why I think this may be them exiting. The doors get broken in the book, so maybe the pillars will get broken in the show. Oh, yeah, great thinking, Brick Ninja. And hey, thanks for showing up. I talked about your thing earlier. I don't know if you saw that. But yeah, that's a really great point. I like that idea. I mean, I don't know where the crumbled pieces would be. Maybe on the other side. That's cool. Matt and RJ say Tar Valon. So there, braid tugging. Yeah, I know. I'll get used to it. I'll say it however the show chooses to say. Even if they choose to say Moiraine and Lon and Tar Valon, I'll be right there with them once that happens. For now, I'm going to be stubborn and say it how I say it. It was supposed to be a dry year. That is true. I mean, that could be anywhere then, couldn't it? No poster for sale yet. What are they thinking? They need to get us a poster for sale. Okay, moving on. Giveaway. Okay, this is the last one, I think. So I'm going to give you guys some time. I'll bring my camera back up. Hello again. Look at my lovely face. Sweaty beard because I'm so nervous. So I'm gonna give you guys some time to type in the chat. Again, please type just once. Maybe just type raffle if that's easier. I'm just gonna scroll up and down, and it may just be something up higher. I can't promise that I'll pick someone who posts now, but the raffle has started. I'll keep talking. Okay, I wanted to talk just a little bit, and we've hit an hour. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us. I should check and see who's still here, because... Oh, look at this, 86 watching. Thank you for being here. I'm kind of surprised that anyone's even watching this, so thank you. I should do this more often. Okay, I wanted to talk a little bit about the fan reactions, because let's be honest, some people have a lot to say, and they have controversial topics, and it's a little bit annoying, and I can't help but want to interact with these people. But I thought it would be good to just talk about some of the things that people have been saying. Look, when we get something like a poster, when there's all this hype build up to, oh, we could be getting a teaser, we could be getting something great, and then it's a poster, there are some people who get disappointed. And they're like, oh man, I was expecting more. I was expecting like a full teaser or whatever, full trailer. And I don't blame them for that. I've been hyped up and excited too. That being said, there was this dissenting opinion here, and I will pick a winner of the raffle in just a minute, I promise. The person said, so disappointed. You're taking a built-in audience for granted. All we want is a trailer and release date, please. Now, first of all, we did get a release date. And I don't think when this guy first posted this, he was called Entitled Watt Fan, I guess. I think he changed it to that after all the responses he got. I could be wrong about that. But anyway, I gotta say, that kind of attitude, I understand it. I also feel like it is entitled attitude. And so Sarah, who is very involved with the show, posted the following. Well, you can also consider that everything that's been done thus far has been done specifically for the fans. All the micro teasers, all the interaction, that's not typical, but it was for the built-in audience. That's huge. All the stuff we've received up to this point, all the things we've speculated about up to this point, have pretty much just been for us, the fans. They haven't been for a wider audience. She went on to say, so then someone said, thank you, Sarah, but we need more. Haha. At least you could give us other micro teasers until trailer or costumes or something minor, but we need more. Frowny face. Okay. So then she said, again, I'll reiterate, the level of access, insight, and glimpses into this show created specifically for the WOT community has never been done before. At this same point in the process, a new show heading toward its premiere will have a fraction of the content. Let's keep things in perspective. We are so lucky to have all of this content already. I mean, it's spawned channels like mine and the Dusty Will and others because we have stuff to actually talk about. It's absolutely awesome. So thank you, Sarah and the Wheel of Time team, for doing this. One more thing. If we're only 3 months out, it really needs to be marketed to the non-built-in viewers now. And then Sarah said, I think the poster's generality and the fact that the at Prime Video main handles are sharing implies a global strategy has launched. This to me is very exciting because you know what this means to me? It means more is coming probably soon. I think we're going to get a teaser within the next month, or even a trailer. And I think things are just going to be ramping up. I think we're going to start seeing character posters. I don't think that Moiraine walking through the Waygate is the only Waygate poster. We'll probably see others walking through as well. It's going to start snowballing everybody. And join my Patreon or my YouTube channel so that I can do this more, so that I can quit my job. All right, moving on. Oh, I need to pick a winner. Okay, so I get my mouse here, looking away. I'm scrolling up, I'm scrolling down, I'm scrolling up and down, and stopping. The Stump. The Stump. You have won the final giveaway. Now, you have a special choice. You can either get another t-shirt from newcreationsbyjen.com, or you can have this hardbound copy of New Spring. Now, I actually gave this away in my last live stream for 5,000 subscribers, but sadly, when I sent it to the person who lives in Europe, they were so far away, I spent like $40 shipping it to them, and then it came back. It took about 6 weeks, and then I got it back in this beat-up box, and sadly, I reached out to them, and I said, I'm so sorry. It came back. I don't know why. And they said, it's okay, give it to somebody else. So you can have this, or you can have something from newcreationsbyjen.com, and I will give this away another time. So if you're still here, The Stump, please reach out to me on Twitter or Discord so that you can receive your prize. Okay, where were we? Okay. I think this is the last thing. So this was somebody, James is deeply involved in JordanCon. And I thought he had a really good take, and I wanted to read this. Now, I'm going to be censoring this a little bit because I don't want to swear on my channel, but here we go. Twitter of Time. So, y'all realize that you're not actually that upset about the Waygate itself, right? You're afraid that the adaptation will somehow make the books lose their meaning. On one level, it makes sense. If the show is wildly successful, everyone will be mad, because everyone will be familiar with the show version of events instead of the book version. And the book version, if what you have loved for so long, it means so much to you. I get it. I literally grew up with the Wheel of Time. I joined Tarvalin.net when I was 14. That's more than half my life. On numerous occasions, the relationship that I've formed through the Wheel of Time has saved my life. I also understand that when a story is being adapted to a different medium, things have to change. It can't be a word-for-word adaptation, because that will fail. Things might change, and there might not be a reason for it other than it looks cooler. This isn't about the Waygate, but the Waygate is all you really have to focus on right now. You're channeling all of that fear and anxiety that you've built up around the show into one thing, and that's really not fair. The writers, directors, producers, and so many others have put so much work into this show, it's still not going to be exactly like you want it. But I have every confidence in the world that it's going to be amazing, because it's so easy to tell that they care. When I was listening to the ComicCon panel, all I heard was how effing much Rafe Judkins cares about this series. We got a poster, which, yeah, is really effing amazing, but we also had an interview showing us that the showrunner is as much a fan as any of the rest of us. So, what I'm saying is, it's okay to be afraid that something you love is going to be loved by people that might not love it for the same reasons you do. What's not okay is for y'all to bash the entire show when you've seen one poster. At the end of the day, when all of this is said and done, the books will still be there. They will not change. It's impossible for them to change. They're written and over with, and they will always be there for you. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse at this point. Even if you end up hating the show, that's not going to take away from the fact that the books still exist just as they do now. They won't be tainted, pun intentional. Anyway, TLDR, too long didn't read. Yes, the Waygate looks different, but don't put the expectations/fear you have about the entire show into one promotional poster. At least give it until November before you all go rabid. I've been saying this for a long time, and I know that was a long diatribe, but I completely agree with this sentiment. And I'm just going to scroll up to something a little cooler like this. I completely agree with this sentiment. And look, I am just as nervous and scared as a lot of the people who are nervous and scared. We want this to be great, and we do all love the series for different reasons. But we love it. And so there are certain things that to us are deal breakers and to others aren't. So I think we just have to give Rafe and his team the benefit of the doubt. We have to understand that they are limited by certain things: budgets, creative vision, actors, locations. There are a lot of things that limit an adaptation. And some things we could argue, well, yeah, but this doesn't look like a Waygate. And I agree with that to some degree. That doesn't mean it can't be cool. And it doesn't mean we can't love it for what it is. It doesn't mean it's not another turning of the wheel. Artistic license is a thing. It's not going to be word for word from the books. But boy, I do hope it's good. And you know what? That's about it. That's all I have. I hope that was a good recap of everything we know about the poster. I hope that you guys will have a wonderful day. Oh, let me give you a very quick just summary of what I'm planning for the channel. I have 3 more Watt 101 videos already written and in the works. One is about the Dark One versus the Creator, or the Dark One and the Creator. Another is about Saidar, and another is about Saidin. I have about 20 others in my mind and in a list, but I haven't started writing them yet. But also, it's been such a long time since I've done a Wheel of Timelines video. And I really want to make that 3rd Wheel of Timelines video that goes more in depth about about the War of Power, the War of Shadow, and all of that. So that's probably going to be my major focus after I get these 3 Watt 101 videos done that I've already kind of got in the pipeline. I haven't been at work for 2 weeks. Things have been very busy at work, and so I'm probably going to be kind of head down, not doing much for the next few weeks, but I promise more stuff is coming. My goal, my hope, is to get to 10,000 subscribers before the show comes out. I'm just over 8,000. Thank you all so much for subscribing and liking. It means so much to me. Thank you for supporting me in any way that you can. It's so awesome. It's such a confidence booster for me, and I really appreciate it. But more than that, I hope that I'm providing Wheel of Time content that's good for you guys as well. That's what this is all about. It's this series that we all love so much. So thank you for your support. I'll just say I also have a deep dive Battle of Falm video that I'm working on with Nablus. He has now officially given me his video for it, and he's given me all of his maps, so it's really on me at this point to get that done. We're still working on a big Eye of the World, what you need to know video for fans of the books. It's kind of like a recap before the show comes out. That is in the works as well. But yeah, I hope too that with the Dusty Will and John from What Up, we can do another Watt challenge. Excuse me, those are always a lot of fun. There's just so much coming. I really need an 8th day in the week or to quit my day job. So make it happen. I love you all. Thank you so much. And I'm going to end the stream now. We'll see you guys later.